Alright guys, so I'm at the gas station fueling up. Into my week. It's Saturday, I was just gonna show you this. I was so blessed that it did not puncture the radiator or anything like that. A couple of these fins I think were actually already like that. It probably bent a couple of them down, but I was so blessed. What happened was I hit a deer. Sorry, I meant to mention that up front, but I hit a deer. This was dented in a little bit. As y'all can see, the thumbnail picture was worse than what this is now because I already had work done a little bit. Took the old headlight out, took the bumper off to try to get part numbers, see what we needed, ordered a new bumper and the grill. And so I was so blessed because that's really all it was, you know. It could have been so much worse. Someone could have got hurt, could have broke glass on my truck or something, but thankfully all that is great. What had happened was, you know, I've been dodging deer for many years, as I'm sure a lot of y'all have. We have a lot of deer here in Georgia. But it was one of those times, sometimes you can dodge them or you see them coming up. Like I said, I've been dodging for 8 years. But this one, I was driving by, I was like half a mile from my house. I was coming down by the bridge, almost by the marina. And there's like some thick weeds that are here on your right. And he was in the weeds, you know, and it's taller than a deer, so you can't see him in there. And he literally like leaped out and basically like almost leaped into the front of my truck, like almost straight out of the woods. And thankfully I wasn't going fast, you know, it was probably 45 or 50, and then by the time I, you know, slammed on the brakes right before I hit him, you know, so I wasn't going terribly fast when I hit him, which is good. That's probably why it didn't, you know, didn't cause too much damage, because it was a big deer. And, you know, unfortunately it killed him and stuff, and I stopped and picked up a bunch of parts out of the road from my truck. I mean, literally, like, when I hit the deer, I could see out of the front corner of my truck up here, when I hit it, I seen parts, like, fly off. And I was like, well, that's probably not good. So, but anyway, thankfully, like I said, everyone's okay. Not a big deal. Got, like I said, gonna get a new grill, new headlight, new parts, and it'll be pretty much as good as new. I'm gonna work on fixing that little black spot on the hood because we kind of pulled the dent back out, and really no real harm done. So that is awesome. But anyway, the life lessons part of this video, I was thinking about that because we're getting to that time of year when, you know, if you're any familiar with hunting, which all my family's deep into hunting. I'm personally not real big into it, but actually I'm not into it at all. I haven't been in many years, but anyway, there's a thing called the rut, and what it does is, like the boy deer, you know, they're like on the hunt for the girl deers, and so they do stupid things that they would not normally do. And the hunters love this time of year because that's a great chance for you to, like, it's a great chance for someone to get a shot at an awesome deer. And the deer might be like walking up or doing something stupid. You know, they just don't think straight, you know. And I was thinking about that, and I was like, because that's probably why, you know, he had jumped in front of the truck. Because they're all running around this time of year. I mean, I see 2, 3 a day are running across the road, you know, just between the hunters and during that time of year, you know, all that. But I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, you know, us as a human race, like, we act just like that. You know, we do silly things, you know, when we're, whether we're old or young or whatever, you know, all during the dating stage and all that. And I thought, man, us as humans, like, we do so many silly things like that too. And I was thinking about that, and here's the part where it's a life lesson: is choices that we make, choices that we make every day, choices that we make for our character and for our you know, are we going to, you know, drink a lot? Are we going to, you know, are we going to engage in sex before marriage? Are we going to, you know, all these choices that we make, you know, because I know that there's a lot of young guys that watch my channel too, and a lot of guys maybe don't even have a girlfriend yet or whatever. And I would encourage you guys, you know, the whole sexuality thing, I know this is weird to talk about on my YouTube channel, but it's okay. I'm an open book. I'm fine. I'm totally fine talking about it. So here I go, because it's my channel, and it's, you know, whatever. It's you know, that's why the channel's here, to share my thoughts. So this is such a huge part of life, such a huge part of life, and it's not something that you just cross that bridge when you get there. It's not something that you just figure it out like when it comes to that time. No, this is not something like that. And why do I talk about that? Because it affects every part of your business, every part of your character, every part of your lives. Because, you know, it's a deep thing, you know, and you know, that was a choice that I made before I was even had a girlfriend, before I was even dating. Like, you know what, I'm gonna be, when I get married, I'm gonna be a virgin. And so me and my wife both had that, but we both made that decision before we knew each other. And so I would encourage you guys that are young, just go ahead and make that decision, whether you're going to do it or not. I don't care. Doesn't affect me, whatever y'all do, but this is a huge thing, because me and my wife, we were virgins when we got married, and there is so many things in life that I don't even realize that are blessed. There's so many areas of our life that are blessed that I don't even realize, because I've never done it the other way, because we done it this way. There's so much baggage that I don't have that I could have. I could have had. And, you know, like, people have these business talks, and I like to read business books and do all that stuff. And it's great. A lot of those things are great. But this is something that, you know, whether you charge $40 or $45 for a yard or $50 for a yard, all that is tiny compared to something like this, because your character affects everything. It affects your finances, it affects your integrity, your reputation, your posture, your clear mind, your thoughts. And you know, because there are guys, like, even when I was younger and everything, you know, just guys that I'd known way back, and even guys that are older that I know now, that, you know, they've had multiple baby mamas or whatever you want to call it, and been married multiple times, and they're in court with all these ladies. All these ladies will get half of their money for the rest of their life. Do you guys realize how big of a deal this is? If you screw this up, it will affect your success. It'll definitely affect your mind forever. Forever. So just think about that. And think about choices that we make. Let's say you're already that guy. Let's say you're 60 years old. You're on your 5th marriage. Let's say that. Let's just, because I have a lot of friends that are like that. A lot of you guys are you know, maybe in that situation. It may not always been your fault. It may be, all that. I'm fine with all that. You know, I'm friends with y'all no matter what. And I'm not saying this to cast judgment or anything. The reason why I talk about this is because every decision that you make affects your whole body, your whole being. You know, people say, oh, well, I keep my personal life and my business life separate. Do you guys know that is total BS? There is no way that you can keep your personal life and your business life totally separate, and because people can see right through that, you know. People can see, they can see right through it. It is very easy. And it's just like, it's almost kind of the same thing as if you break your leg and you're not at work, you can't say, well, I'll just, I'm going to keep it, it's not going to affect my business life. This has just happened in my personal life. No, it's something that happened to you, and it's something that you'll always have to deal with. Whether we think we're good at switching back and forth business life to personal life, things that happen in our life always in our mind until we deal with them, until we talk about them, ask forgiveness, and the Lord has forgiveness for everyone. So we don't have to carry these things around, but still the consequences of every decision we make will always be with us. Whether if I choose to eat McDonald's every day, I'm gonna be unhealthy, and it's just the consequence of what it is. And so I want y'all to think about this, because what this has to do with lawn care. It has to do huge with lawn care, because I believe that every decision we make, what are we going to eat every day, what time we're going to wake up, what time are we going to stop work, what time we're going to make sure we spend time with our family, all these things impact our business, because we're one being. We're not a robot. We can't just switch off a switch and then we're just totally separate. Some people may be better than others about not telling personal things while they're at business, but things will always be there, personal and business. We're just one person. We're just one human being. And so what I'm saying is, everything that we do affects everything. It's all of it has a reaction on all of it. It's like all the parts of our lives are like different links on the bike chain, and they all go around. And if I'm out drunk every night, and even if I come home at midnight, and even if I try to wake up or whatever, eventually that's going to impact my business. Eventually my customers are going to know. I don't have to tell them, they just know. All right, put it on the flip side. I have this customer, and I had talked about it in my men's group. One of the ways that I stay sharp is every week I meet with a group of guys, and most of them, I'm really the only young guy there. Every now and then my friend Brandon Schubert comes, but like this last couple days ago, it was me and a couple other 60-year-old guys that are great guys. And so we meet, we go over a few questions, and I do that every single week. Because other guys that are 27 just like me, they can offer me little things here and there. But guys that are farther down in life can offer us big things. And us staying in community with other men is so important. It's very uncomfortable. It's very unnatural. A lot of men, it's just how men are. We like to just stay to ourselves and just do our own thing. And, especially, us being in the lawn care business, we're kind of out doing our own thing and whatever. But being in community with other guys is so important. And if I'm going to succeed in life, I know that I have to do that. I'm gonna be looking for a mentor, just a regular, like a life mentor. That's something I'm working on. It's kind of hard to find what exactly I'm looking for, but that's something we're working on. Me and my wife both work on that, and she wants to find a lady that's like the same way as that, because that's how we're gonna skyrocket. Because think about it, guys. Let's say. Oh, and here's getting back to the story of my customer. Let's say, I have this one customer, just as an example. He probably thinks that he's great at keeping his life separate or whatever. He's got multiple millions of dollars houses, all this stuff. Has poured his life into his business, makes tons of money. But he did not invest into his family. He did not, in my opinion. His wife, a couple years ago, well, actually earlier this year, had kicked her out of one of the houses that we that I mow, and just said, hey, I don't want to be married anymore, whatever. And so she just told me that she had to leave. She went to Tennessee, and you know, I wouldn't trade places with that guy. Someone could say, I'll trade lives with him, and I'll give you $10 million cash. I would not do it. There ain't no way. I mean, from my perspective, like, he probably thinks, oh, you know, I'm doing very well, and I'm keeping my life separate because obviously my business is successful. But like I was saying, everything is still connected. So overall, his life still sucks. Yeah, he may on paper have money. He may have money in the bank, but his life sucks because it's all connected. And eventually that will impact his business too. Because just in the last couple of years, he's been doing crazy things. I've been mowing, you know, their houses forever. And he hasn't told me any of this, but I just see it. I just see it going on, and I'm like, wow. So, all that, the short version, just to sum it up in one sentence, the choices that we make, personal life, work life, all that, I believe it all impacts each other. And part of us being very successful in our lawn care business is let's evaluate what we're doing. Let's evaluate what we're eating. Let's evaluate what choices are we making. Let's evaluate how much YouTube we're watching. You know, let's evaluate all that, you know. Because even me, I'll be honest with you guys, I like watching all you guys' YouTube channels. I could be on YouTube 4 hours a night watching lawn care videos and love it, you know. I could do that. And I want to do that. But something I'm trying to be better at is, like, when I'm at home and I'm with River and or with my wife, I want to be present. I want to be sitting there looking at my phone. I want to be present with them too. And there's a place for watching YouTube. I love communicating with you guys, coming back and forth. I love watching other videos, all that stuff. It's a great thing, but it still needs to be in balance, you know. And so, like, our day-to-day choices make a huge difference. Number one, it makes our life so much better. And number two, you know, it's just the way we, you know, because if you think about it, a lot of things in life are mental. Like, for example, like I sometimes, you know, I'll get, for a few months, I'll think, oh, my yards are, you know, after all of us, I'm sure it happens to all of us, we get rolling on our yard route, and after a while, just doing it over and over and over, we think, oh man, this is kind of getting hard, you know. Or we just think it's just hard. I think, oh, well, I'm working hard, which may not be, but and then when a storm hits, like the one Hurricane Michael, whatever, and then you take all my yards and add 600 sticks to all of them, then you realize what real work is. And then after I get all that cleaned up, I feel like, oh man, my route is easy. It seems easier than it was before the storm. But you see that so much of life is our outlook and our perception of how do we view our job, how do we view our life. But how do we keep our mind straight? How do we keep our mind in a good place? Well, choices that we make each day. What are we eating? When do we go to bed? Do we get enough rest? Do we not get too much rest? Do we wake up early? What do we eat? Are we eating somewhat healthy? Are we taking time to read? Are we taking time to do our quiet time? Are we, you know, like I said, it all runs together as part of having a great life. And you know, God wants us to value our families. If you're married today, I don't care if it's your fifth wife or whatever, what you're married to right now, let's take the cards that you have, let's take the pieces that you have, and let's do the very best that we can. Let's take time for our wives, for our family that we have now. Let's do the thing. Let's start making some declarations in our own life. I'm not going to do this, and I am going to do this. And let's start doing those things, guys. And so you guys get the gist of you get the summary of what I'm saying. I had a good way of trying to sum it up better. But I'm not a professional. I forget and stuff, and I need to get home and see my wife and whatnot. It's Saturday night. Got a big old pile of sticks in my trailer now. I just cleaned up a new yard, did kind of like a cleanup thing deal on it. Still picking up new yards. I hope you guys are too. It's almost November. I'm still getting calls. And it's a blessing. That just goes to show you, if you guys are new in business or if you've done it for a long time, keep doing good work and just keep at it for many years. I'm already like 7 years doing this business. My own business. I've been doing the business for like 14 years with my dad and whatever. But just stay at it. It gets better. It's very hard in the beginning, but it gets better. But like I was telling you, a lot of it is mental. When I first, I had 10 yards when I first started my business, and I had crappy equipment and all that, and I was like, man, you know, I don't know, like my customers were terrible and all that, and I thought, man, this is bad. But now looking back on it, you know, a lot of it is perception. Because I work probably 10 times harder than I did when I first started my business. But I feel like my business is better now than it was then. I am making more money and all that stuff. But it's a lot of it as you go, your business, you'll keep, if you keep working on developing a good mindset towards your lawn-care business, you will, you know. Like a lot of it, like I said, is perception. My business is harder now than it was then, but it feels easier because I get more comfortable with it. You get less scared and you'll make more money and all that. But I don't work less than I did then. I work more. But it is better. It's better because I'm getting better slowly, just little bits at a time. So you guys just stick with it. You will keep getting better. Even if you've already done it for 20 years, next year, 2019, is going to be your best season ever. So I'm going to stop ranting on. But I hope you guys are doing great. And I enjoy making these videos. You know, just all the ones like I normally make. One day I'd like to try to go up to 3 videos a week. I don't know how I'm going to do that. Or if I can. But that's something I kind of want to do. So anyway, you guys that stuck this all the way to the end, y'all are troopers. So let's keep moving. See ya.